Welcome back to the 2 Minute Morning. Today I'm taking a look at the Miami Heat and going over whether or not I think they should try and trade for point guard Damian Lillard. But before we get into that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Comment down below. Should the Heat try to pursue trading for Damian Lillard more or try to pursue signing Kawhi Leonard more? Which one is the better deal that they should go for? Comment down below and I'll give my answer at the end. But getting straight into it, of course, if you're a Heat fan or just Heat front office, if you can somehow, some way get Damian Lillard on Jimmy Butler on the same team, you got to go for it. But that's a lot easier said than done. You know, maybe the Heat don't want to give up their entire future and roster because it's going to cost a lot. I mean, Damian Lillard's a top 3 point guard in the league, top 2 point guard in the league. It's probably either him or Steph at number 1 or 2, and it just depends on who you ask. So, I mean, he's going to come at a very steep price. And I know the Heat, idealistically, and anyone that's a Heat fan would love to have a big 3 between Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. I mean, who wouldn't? That big 3, I don't want to say would run the East, but definitely be some of the top dogs in the East. I think it'd be between that big 3, the Nets big 3, or the Bucks big 3 with Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. Either way, I'm not saying they'd walk through the East, but they'd definitely be on par with every single team and could be better. Like I said, though, I don't know if the Heat can pull off a trade with the Blazers that doesn't include Bam, because the Blazers, they got to get something in return for Dame. So at the end of the day, no matter what, they can say, well, at least we got blah, blah, blah in the trade. No matter if they flunked on all the draft picks or if some guy got hurt, at least we got blah, blah, blah. And that blah, blah, blah name, that star piece that would just give them hope, would be Bam Adebayo. He would give the Blazers a really good aspect of defense and scoring. He's just a great option. Idealistically, I could see a trade between the Heat and Blazers being something along the lines of Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, 3 or 4 first-round picks. I'm not a GM. I don't know the exact numbers of that's going to work with the money. I don't know the exact value Damian Lillard's going for, but that would just give the the Blazers a couple options. They got a big scoring defender in the front court with Bam, and they got some scores in Goran Dragic, and they got a kid they could develop, a Tyler Hero, and then they got 3 or 4 first-round picks they could try to develop in the future or use that at draft capital to trade for another player. That would just be somewhat of a fair trade to me. If you get Damian Lillard on the team, or if you trade Damian Lillard away from your team, you're not going to get anything of the exact value back in return, but that's at least something to start with. However, if the Heat are set on we're not trading Bam, just like when the James Harden thing came around, we're not trading Tyler Hero. Obviously, they regret that now, but moving forward, I think they'd easily move off of Tyler Hero. If they're saying we're keeping Jimmy and Bam, take whatever you want after that, it would be hard for me, if I'm at least the Blazers in the front office, to say anything is fair for Dame at that point if we don't get Bam. You'd have to maybe trade Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, maybe Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, maybe sign and trade with Victor Oladipo. And this would be hard because, these guys are restricted free agents. It's not going to be an easy trade deal by any means. And you got to get Victor Oladipo to sign and trade. And, as much as I like Oladipo and as much as I want to remember him, being with the Pacers and taking LeBron to 7 games and him being a great guy, he gets hurt an extra amount. The guy is always broken, and that is something that the Blazers probably don't want. Does he have star power? Does it match Dame's? No, but does he have star power? Yes. That has upside, but his risk is just as big as any player in the league that has injuries. And I just can't trust that. Again, you'd get a lot more guys like Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, and Victor Oladipo. Hopefully one of those guys can come out and be that blah, blah, blah guy that the Blazers could sit back and say, well, at least we got that. And, of course, the first-round picks would probably increase from 3 to 4 to 5 or 6 just because there is no star piece, big-name, big-ticket guy like Bam being in the trade. And if I'm the Heat, it's a fine line. Which one do I want? Do I want to trade away Bam, but I have a lot of depth and a lot of guys on bench to rely on and keep my guys rested and healthy and we have a strong lineup? Or do we want to get rid of the depth in the bench and say, we got the big 3 moving forward, we're going with that, and that's what we're betting on? Are we betting on ourselves now or a later thing? Do we want to give up all our bench and our future draft picks to make a run at it within the next 3 years? And if we don't, we kind of regret it? Or do we, want to just trade Bam away, get Dame and Jimmy, see what they could do, maybe add an extra couple guys on the bench, and then we can still make a run at it, but we didn't give up as much? I don't know. It's up to the Heat. To me, I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket, but when you get Damian Lillard on the team, you got to go big or go home. You got to make a run at the finals. This time, I would put all my eggs in one basket and try and make a finals run this very upcoming year. I'm just saying, if you could form a big three with Bam, Jimmy Butler, and Damian Lillard, that has everything you need. You got an absolute pure scorer. You have and Damian Lillard, you have a very well-rounded guy in Jimmy Butler. And Bam Adebayo, I'm not saying he can't score. Bam's actually a very athletic and mobile big man, that's for sure. But defender aspect, or his defensive aspect, is definitely, I'd say, the stronger suit, at least when you're looking at these three. You're not going to hype up Damian Lillard's defense and Bam Adebayo's scoring and offensive options when you got those teams on the same team. You're going to look at Bam's defense and Damian Lillard's scoring potential. Just in that aspect, you have to agree. I would 100% try and go for it, but again, I don't know if the Blazers are going to be happy with a bunch of bench players and a bunch of guys that could put up numbers. Goran Dragic could put up numbers, Duncan Robinson could shoot a great three, Tyler Hero's still developing, they like Kendrick Nunn, but it's none of that is even close to being worth the second best, arguably the best point guard in the league, and therefore I don't know what the Blazers will bite off. Of course, like the video is titled, should the Heat pursue it 100%? It's just a matter of fact, how can they pull it off? Do they have to give up Bam? Can they keep Bam? Can they form a big three? Can they form a big three that will win the finals? I don't know. They got a great coach, Eric Spoelstra. Maybe Pat Riley can pull something off. A lot of things need to go into play to work something out here, but if I'm the Heat, I am pulling something off. I'm pulling strings to get Damian Lillard on this team if I can. If I can't, score a big free agent like Kawhi Leonard, or if we believe we could get another trade or whatever it is, I got to get some other big ticket name on this team for the upcoming season. We can't get swept again in the first round of the playoffs. I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but it's not something you're proud of. That's for dang sure. Like I said, it's going to be easier said than done. I just don't know what a trade package could be that doesn't include Bam. If Bam's included, again, you're still going to win the deal if you're the Heat and lose the deal if you're the Blazers. You're just not getting the same value for the second best point guard in the league. But if you don't, I feel like the Heat are almost robbing the Blazers if they can pull something off. And, I'm sure the James Harden Rockets deal, the Nets are happy with their trio, and the Rockets might be happy with their, umpteen amount of draft picks and umpteen amount of players that they could work with for the next 10 years just because James was disgruntled and didn't want to play with them anyways. If Damian Lillard speaks out and says, I want to be traded, then things could get easier. And Damian Lillard does have, he kind of has say in where he wants to go. I could see these two teams working something out, but we'll just have to see. Maybe Dame will go to LA. Maybe Dame will go to the Knicks. I'm not sure. We'll just have to find out. But I do want to hear from you guys. Do you agree or disagree that the Heat should try and pursue trading for Damian Lillard? And referring back to the question today, which one should I, or do I believe they should pursue more? If I'm the Heat, more as in should they pursue a Damian Lillard trade or sign a Kawhi Leonard? To me, I'm going the Kawhi Leonard route, actually, just because you're not giving up any draft capital. You're not giving up any bench players. You're not giving up any future picks, yet you could still keep a guy that's just all-star talent, that's a top 5 player in the league. You could argue Kawhi Leonard's better than Dame. Not saying he is. It's an argument to be debated, but even if they're on the same level, no one's better than the other. You're not giving up anything for Kawhi except money that you'd be giving up anyway. So I'd go the free agent route just because you're not giving up any draft capital or bench players. But, I'm not going to complain if the Miami Heat pull off a Damian Lillard trade. I definitely think they should still pursue it. As always, and of course, guys, I want to hear your opinions, and thank you for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. 2-minute warning.